up, everybody? Welcome into yet another edition of the Baseline Jumper podcast. My name is Jason Goldstein, and on the line with me right now is a man who is still glued to his TV from Sunday night's All-Star game, Ben McDonald, ladies and gentlemen. Ben, it's time to do the podcast. You can stop watching highlights now.
I'm here, Jason. I'm here. Okay, I'm focused. I'm getting into it. Just give me 24 more seconds, and I'll be there. But yeah, some great moments there from the All-Star. Great things. And I think, Jason, I mean, we're a little bit later in the week here. I think a lot of people have given their reactions. So what do you say we hit this with a little bit of a lightning round?
Can I just start off by saying, though, I think that was the best All-Star weekend in the history of All-Star weekends. The new format just hit on so many levels. The fourth quarter of that game, Team Giannis versus Team LeBron, with the target score being 157. I mean, I was on the edge of my seat. It felt like a playoff game. In the first quarter, I mean, you saw just a lot of lobs, a lot of dunks. I think there were 50 dunks in the first three quarters and only one in the fourth. It got so competitive, just the way Chris Paul played. He was drilling three after three. I mean, the debuts were not really impressive. Trae Young did have that half-court shot to end the first half, but Doncic was quiet. He was actually benched in favor of Paul when it mattered most. But just the game itself was incredible. Absolutely incredible. The NBA nailed it, and I hope this format becomes permanent. I really do.
So you're a fan of the Elam ending with
the
addition of a score, and then you have to kind of target up to that score, and whoever hits it, hits it. The free throw didn't bother you. I think Pascal Siakam came out afterwards and said games shouldn't end on free throws, and kind of there was some pushback.
Tweak it. Mm-hmm. They could tweak it, but just the way, like maybe win by 2 or something like that, or if you don't get the exact score, it resets. I don't know, but just that was the way to get these players invested. They raised $500,000 for charity. I know Team LeBron's kids got $400,000 and Giannis's kids got $100,000, but just seeing the kids stand up when their team was winning at the end of the quarter and just knowing what that means to them in the city, in such a great basketball city that is Chicago. So much good came out of that weekend. And I think after the Kobe Bryant news, the NBA really needed a week like this. I mean, we called it back a couple of weeks ago, Ben. They named the MVP award after Kobe Bryant. So first we started with our Kobe Bryant marquee matchups of the week becoming a permanent staple here on Baseline Jumper. And now the award is named after Kobe Bryant. And it's funny how it's all fun and fanfare, and then the award goes to a guy like Kawhi Leonard. Which, by the way, before we lightning round this, I don't know if you saw the little snippet, but when Kawhi was going to the press conference, he noticed a bottle of Gatorade that was up on the podium, and he whispered to himself, "I'm not sponsored by Gatorade," and he took the bottle down off the table. Did you hear about that?
I didn't see that. That's hilarious.
That is the most Kawhi Leonard thing of all time.
His Q score is so high right now. People love Kawhi, and it's amazing.
Good reason.
Yeah, it's amazing. He's like the most unsuperstar-y superstar that we've had in a long time. And
it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
In an All-Star game that didn't have any Warriors players, no Kevin Durant, no Kyrie Irving, obviously, but 3 of the 10 players on the court in the fourth quarter were all part of that Raptors championship team. You had Lowry, who was taking charges. Mm-hmm. He looked great. Siakam out there in his first All-Star game, and Kawhi. So it was fun to kind of see the banter going back and forth. But I digress. Let's lightning round this thing. Let's go through each of the big events and just give our 2 cents, Ben. Why don't you get us started there, pal?
Well, you kind of hit the first thing, which was I was going to say, what was your favorite part of the All-Star weekend? And it sounds like your favorite part was the main event, the game, getting to see an exciting thing. But I think the other stuff was, there were a lot of memorable moments. I mean, what was your most surprising moment out of this weekend, Jason?
Probably Bam Adebayo winning the skills challenge because he went up against our guy, Spencer Dinwiddie, in the first round. And Dinwiddie was talking a lot of smack. And Bam went out and hit his first three-pointer before Spencer even got to shoot, eliminating the 2018 champion of the skills contest. And you and I talked last week about how big men in this contest doesn't really seem fair, but it ended up being him and a traditional big and Domantas Sabonis in the finals of that. And Bam coming away with that is a fun little thing. Bam's a hardworking kid. For him to be in his first All-Star game and then win a trophy that he said, he was given to his mom and it's something that he'll treasure forever. I mean, it was just a cool moment because that's the ultimate underdog story. I mean, I think you're crazy if you bet on this stuff, but I think he had the longest odds in the Vegas sports book. It was like plus 1,500 or something like that. And he won. So if anyone took that flyer bet, they made themselves some money. What was your most surprising moment?
Well, I found the most. I'm gonna go with most thrilling moment because I think surprising you kind of got. That's the one that I was leaning towards as well. But I'm gonna say the most thrilling moment of the weekend was the 3-point contest where there ended up being just some incredible shooting. I got to see Zach LaVine put up some nice shots, and he didn't even have a chance. He was knocked out before anything even happened, and Buddy Hield went nuts. Devin Booker went nuts. I mean, there were just a bunch of these guys who were going there, and I think between those two, it was really interesting to see a glimpse into the future of the league, Jason, because we watched in the skills challenge, as you mentioned, in the finals, you have Sabonis and you have Bam Adebayo, guys who are, you know, both really skilled, great passing big men, but also capable of really knocking someone's block off, getting those tough rebounds, dunking on someone's head. And then you look at the next event and you have this shooting contest where guys are just unconscious hitting these shots. I mean, LaVine shot pretty well, and in a lot of past dunk contests, he would have been in good shape, but he got absolutely blown out of the water, and it just struck me how much we're watching the league turn this way, that you have more and more skilled big men. The game is turning into one of skill and speed and quickness a lot more than it used to be, where we used to have those kind of those behemoths down in the block and getting like righty hooks and lefty hooks and going in for dunks. You just don't see that anymore. And I thought that carried over into the dunk contest where, Dwight Howard, you can see, is kind of getting phased out. And it led to what I think we have to admit is probably the most controversial moment of the All-Star weekend, Jason. I mean, what did you think of how that ended up with obviously Jones coming out on top over Gordon?
First of all, I think I have a new favorite dunk contest because just to kind of highlight, when Pat Connaughton put on that retro outfit and dunked, and then he jumped over Kristen Yelich, who had a Scottie Pippen jersey on, which was kind of cool. Kristen Yelich, an outfielder for the Milwaukee Brewers, to their friends. But Connaughton had the one dunk that I think in another year he would have won with, when he caught it off a lob, jumped over someone, bounced the ball off the backboard with his hands, and then dunked it in one motion. Might have been my favorite dunk of the night. And then the other one that stood out was when Taco Fall got jumped by Aaron Gordon was impressive. But it's not just guys jumping over guys and dunking anymore. The way Aaron Gordon on one of his dunks twisted his body and kind of put it in reverse style was sick. I mean, that dunk contest, I'm not going to lie, I was out to dinner, I had some wine, and I was getting sleepy. But I stayed up to the end of the dunk contest, and I'm just sitting there in bed like, holy crap. These guys are putting on a show. And, Ben, to answer your question, I mean, I think it was controversial. What I think it boils down to is Dwayne Wade, one of the judges, he had an event to get to, and I don't think he really wanted it to go OT. I think Jones and Gordon would have pulled more dunks out of their hats, and it's unfortunate it ended the way it did. I mean, you got to give Dwight Howard some sympathy points here because of the way he did the Superman cape and honored Kobe. And, I think if he was younger, he would have had a better shot. But any of those other three guys, Connaughton, Gordon, or, of course, Jones, who did take it, could have won another year. It was so close. I mean, Gordon lost by 1 point. I know that was your pick, and I know that must have hurt. But I honestly think Dwayne Wade, as much as we love Dwayne Wade, as much as we respect Dwayne Wade, the guy had somewhere to be. They couldn't do another overtime.
Yeah,
I wish I was kidding.
I know. It's kind of bad, but it's really funny to me that, I don't know. I think it's really interesting that when you look at those events, we talk about the skills challenge, we talk about the 3-point contest. I love these sponsorships. You have the Mountain Dew 3-point contest, the Taco Bell skills challenge. It's kind of hilarious. But at any rate, you have in this slam dunk contest, you're watching. Now, there's just not the stars that there used to be. And we've seen this now over the past few years, is that the slam dunk contest is actually fewer of the stars in the league, while we're watching the skills contest and the 3-point contest have more of the young stars, which I have to admit, I thought there was some serious kind of foreshadowing in terms of what the way the league is going with all this. And that was one of the things that like I couldn't help but feel like there was this like little bit of symbolism for the league in the way that the All-Star weekend unfolded. The fact that you look at the dunk contest, you have a bunch of guys who really just honestly aren't all that relevant in the league. And then you look at the other ones and you look at like the 3-point contest and you have legitimate like stars in there. I mean, there's all-stars who are in the 3-point contest and there's no all-stars in the dunk contest. And that,
well, to be fair, Dwight Howard's a former all-star. Connaughton just has unbelievable hops.
True.
Aaron Gordon, I think, is just going to do whatever he can to win one of these things. And Jones is an athlete, and I think, he deserved to be there. It's not because if it were all-stars doing it, I get everyone's always wanted to see LeBron in the dunk contest, but you can't just say, oh, you're an all-star. Can you dunk? Yeah, all right, you're in the dunk contest. No, it doesn't work like that. These guys were also talented, and the creativity that they came up with on all these different dunks. Because, look, how long has the dunk contest been around? How many different variations of dunks are there? You mentioned, Gerald Green blowing out the cupcake and Dwight Howard slapping his sticker of his face on the backboard. I mean, jumping over a car. They had to get creative, and Taco Fall just being in the stands and Aaron Gordon calling him out and Chance the Rapper being involved in a lot of these things. I mean, it was so creative. And can I just tell you my favorite part about the dunk contest that had nothing to do with dunking?
Sure.
That Chadwick Boseman was a judge. And Kenny Smith kept making Wakanda references, and the Marvel nerd in me was cracking up laughing at that. I didn't realize it was Chadwick Boseman, and my girlfriend's like, that's Black Panther. I'm like, no, that can't be. I'm like, oh my God, that is Black Panther. I just thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I there's something that I feel like this tells us a little bit about the league and the fact that I think we're moving towards a league that's more skill speed based than it is these raw athletes. And you saw even a guy like Zach LaVine who kind of switched over to the 3-point contest. I thought that was really interesting. And I don't know, I think that was one of my takeaways from here. But at any rate, were there any other big takeaways that you had from the All-Star weekend or anything else you kind of wanted to talk about?
I mean, just our predictions. We both got one event right each. You had Team USA in the Rising Stars Challenge. I picked Team World, and Luka let me down. So 1 point to Ben. Skills challenge, you both had Dinwiddie. We know how that went. 3-point contest, I should have been able to repick because I took Damian Lillard before he aggravated the groin on Wednesday and was forced to miss the 3-point shootout and the All-Star game. But Devin Booker deserved to be there, rightfully so. You had Zach LaVine. Buddy Hield wins. Dunk contest, you had Gordon. You almost got that second one, Ben. I had Dwight Howard based on sentimentality. That blew up in my face. And then in a close one, Team LeBron for the second year in a row, best Team Giannis in what should be a great format moving forward in this game. So all in all, Ben, I think we should stick to analyzing and not so much prognosticating because I think we can both agree that we're not very good at it.
Yeah, man, I'm glad we didn't put any money down on this one, Jason. But let's kind of move on from the All-Star because there's some other stuff going on around the league.
A lot of news.
Where do you want to go first, Jason?
I think we have to go with Kyrie Irving. I mean, only because we're recording this on Tuesday night, and then Ben's taking a nice little trip ski, so we're going to be off for a little bit. But this news just broke today that Kyrie Irving re-aggravated his shoulder that caused him to miss 26 games in the early portion of the 2019 part of the season, and he wasn't at practice when the Nets reconvened post-All-Star break. And this is getting serious. And I know the Kyrie naysayers are jumping up and down in glee about this. I mean, look, I'm going to say something real quick. Kyrie Irving was just named a VP in the Players Association, reporting to Chris Paul. He's on that committee now. He's well respected amongst his peers. So the fans and the media that are just looking to create something negative out of the situation, go find something else to do. Because Kyrie Irving is a very talented basketball player who just can't stay healthy. So look, me as a Nets fan, as a podcast host, I'm trying to stay objective here. Kyrie Irving should just have surgery to repair this issue and get healthy as he can for next season because Durant's not playing this year. The Nets are going to barely make the playoffs with this young team that they have. Silver lining is these young guys are going to get experience, but if you're Kyrie Irving, he's reportedly going to see a specialist in Phoenix later this week. Just get the procedure, get it fixed so it doesn't linger because Anthony Puccio, our buddy, tweeted this and it resonated